And
That's
we're
a cool
live.
guy.
I just got done telling Flip about my super racist great grandfather. And
Racist is putting it lightly. He's a nice guy. Really funny guy.
aligns with your beliefs.
No, not at all.
How is
My
everybody
true
doing this
belief.
week? I don't think we talked yesterday, so I feel like I haven't gotten to know you this week.
Dude,
How is
yesterday
everything?
was so weird. So I woke up, I went to bed Sunday night super late because I was like, I have all day tomorrow to sleep.
Now that we're live, it is Robo Flip time. How does this always happen? I really wish we knew. 'Cause I feel like Flip needs to be on. Yes.
Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yeah, your video is frozen except for in the oh, there we go. Yes, that is what a little better.
There we go.
What's going on, Sardis? Hey, Eric, glad you're here. Stendhal's here. Food for thought. How is everybody? Glad you're here.
No, but the reason why we didn't talk yesterday is because I went to bed at like 7 in the morning, woke up at like 12:30, and then went to bed at 7:30 to 1:30, and then woke up and then just had like a full second day. Very weird day yesterday.
We have another convert. Sardis says, I just started watching The Shield. Great cast and writing.
Sean's been watching it too.
Nice.
Watching with his wife. They seem to enjoy it. It's fucking great. I'm thinking about rewatching it actually.
Nice.
I don't have a show. Like I binge watched like what 5 cop shows in the span of 3 months, and
Yeah.
I was like, man, I need something else. I don't have anything else to watch at work. So,
What's going on, Mr. Stump?
Is it Stump or Stump?
You know, I've never asked him. Obviously, we've hung out in person like 5 or 6 times. I haven't asked him. I'm thinking it's Stump. I started my rewatch on The Shield when we first started talking about it like 3 weeks ago, and I'm still on the first season.
It's been longer than 3 weeks, hasn't it?
No, not when we first started talking about it, when we talked about top TV shows.
Oh, okay. It's so
That's
good.
probably been more than 3 weeks too, though. Now that I think about it,
Time is insane.
Yep.
I took my dad to get his haircut today because he's been looking like John Wick for the last year or two since Mindhunter. Yes, I have watched Mindhunter. It's great. What's going on, Dave? But I took my dad to get his haircut, and the place I go now is like a tattoo parlor / haircut place. So it's got tattoos all over the wall. You're playing classic rock. My dad is
So it's John Stump.
John Stump. That sounds like a fucking like serial killer from the 1976 serial killer who only hunted down one-armed women. You know what I mean? It's like
one-armed women.
Yeah, John Stump. You know? I'm just kidding, John. I'm just fucking with you, man. Do we have pickups?
Yeah. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I got this little movie right here called Shogun Assassin. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. Never. It's first time ever owning this.
I saw your post on Reddit and laughed so hard.
Yeah, because you're going to be really shocked because my second pickup is this other movie called Shogun Assassin.
Oh my gosh.
Let me tell you why I did what I did. So this is a steelbook from Eureka. It's a dual format. So what is it? Probably like, when do you think this came out? 2011 maybe? Like, when did they stop doing?
12 probably.
Yeah. So this is a steelbook. I haven't broken the seal yet or anything, but it's got 2 audio commentaries. One by producer David Weissman, illustrator Jim Evans, and actor Gibran Evans, who's the voice of Daigoro, the American Daigoro. And then a second with film scholar Rick Myers and martial arts expert Steve Watson. So really cool. It's got an interview with Samuel L. Jackson. So yeah, I did. I don't know why. But then this right here. So for those of you who don't know, Shogun Assassin was only big here. In 1973, they tried bringing Lone Wolf and Cub to the States. This came out in 1980, I believe. Yeah, 1980 is when Shogun Assassin came here. But they brought the third movie here in the States, and they called it Lightning Swords of Death. No Shogun Assassin name or anything. They dubbed it, and they just called it Lightning Swords of Death. And then when Shogun Assassin came out in the States and was a hit, they then tried to rebrand that movie Shogun Assassins 2, Lightning Swords of Death. And they actually did 5 Shogun Assassin movies total, just redubs. So there's the first one, Lightning Swords of Death, Flashing Blades of Carnage, which is such a sick name. 5 Fistfuls of Gold, and
name.
Cold Road to Hell. So yeah, this was put out by Anamigo. It's this weird like digipack, but it's got 2 discs in it. It's really cool. But yeah, this has all the Lone Wolf and Cub movies dubbed in English, and I haven't seen all of them dubbed, so I had to pick that up.
For those keeping score, we are at 6 minutes before the first Lone Wolf and Cub match.
Oh, just you wait till next week. Then I got this. So, 8th Diagram Bullfighter. I was not going to, like I said, I wasn't going to double dip with Come Drink With Me, but the special features. This is a brand new transfer from Arrow. Like, they didn't use the one that Celestial Pictures did, that 88 Films did. This is a brand new in-house brand new 2K restoration from the original camera negative by Arrow Films. So they did this, and it looks fucking spectacular.
Did they advertise it as having a new scan when they announced it?
There's a little section in the back. I posted it. I'm in a group with Fanatical Dragon, Will Gish from Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society, and a couple other like Asian movie YouTubers. It says the 8th Diagram Bullfighter is presented in the original aspect ratio with its original Cantonese, Mandarin, and English mono mixes. Every effort has been made to present this film in its original complete version. Blah blah blah. Was scanned at La Imagine Reverta Asia. But yeah, so really happy to own this. It looks great. I haven't really dived into special features yet. But man, that fucking artwork! I don't know if anybody could look at that. Artwork is gorgeous.
Let me do this. Hold that up again.
There we go. Look, that artwork is beautiful. Really happy to have this. I gotta say, I've talked about this before. This specific poster always cracks me up because Alexander Fusheng was supposed to be the lead Gordon Liu's character. So he died, and this was the poster.
They included it.
They included it in the back of the booklet. And the booklet, really well written. Not written by Simon Abrams. So it's very accurate.
It's very factual.
You know what sucks about Simon Abrams is that me and him have so much.
He lied.
I mean but like me and him have so much in common, just musically, film wise, that I feel like we would be good friends. But he's such a piece of shit.
Jeff wants to know if Brad Pitt is in Shogun Assassin.
I wish. And then I got a stack of Shaw Brothers. So just go through these real quick. This is Lady with a Sword. Again, they're really inventive with these names. We got A Taste of Cold Steel. Hell yeah. We got The Pursuit. Right there's The Pursuit. We got The Secret of the Dirk. I don't know what a dirk is, but I want to know its secret.
You'll find out.
One of the actually, I'll say the rarest for last. Danger Has Two Faces. Nice little cop crime thriller. And then we got The Kid from Kwantung. So there's 10 Tigers of Kwantung, and then there's this goofy ass kid from Kwantung. And then one of the rarest Shaw Brothers movies that you can get is Vengeance of a Snow Girl. So, a little collecting tip that I didn't include in my video. If you are going to collect Shaw Brothers and you're going to look, Celestial Pictures had 2 lines. They had the Hong Kong IVL, and then they had a Taiwan version. For some reason, and I think it's just because of sellers are jacking the prices up of all the Hong Kong official ones. The Taiwan's versions have English subtitles. It's the exact same package, just with a different language on the cover. Those are dollars. like you can get so many for so cheap. So if you are like if you see a movie that you want and it's $100 and you're like, I don't want to spend $100 on a movie, just keep looking. You'll find one for like $10. Nice
Jeez.
little and they're official. So
Are they titled differently?
no, there's just different language. There's just like different language on them versus, but yeah, it's mostly the same packaging. See, it's got a whole different language on it, but yeah, they are official, so you can pick them up, and they aren't bootlegs.
Nice.
Can I share something real quick that's really funny to me?
Sure.
So I'm working on a Zatoichi
Maybe.
video. Dennis Hopper was a huge fan of Zatoichi, like a massive fan. He wanted to produce a Zatoichi comes to America, but like in like the Wild West. So I think the producer's last name was Geffen. I think it was Eric Geffen or something. Dennis Hopper had him pretty convinced. So they flew Shintaro Katsu over to America, and he ended up just drinking and doing coke with Dennis Hopper and causing mayhem for a whole week. That by the time he left, the producers were like, "No fucking way, no way are we doing this. You're out of your fucking mind." So yeah, apparently Dennis Hopper and him like poor California, which is awesome.
Nerd says, I watched Corbucci's Django. Now I want to grab a 6-shooter, sip on some sarsaparilla. Got this gold, though. Django's amazing.
I think that every day, honestly.
So my pickups, I brought together a list of things just to piss Flip off tonight. And
What?
It was all to make the pun about flip off. So
You rascal.
the first, because Flip loves silly comedies. Dinner for Schmucks. I love this godforsaken movie, and everybody hates it. It's hilarious. Flip's favorite movie of 2021, Matrix Resurrections and Steelbook.
Jesus Christ, you bought a steelbook of that piece of shit.
Even better, he really loves Spielberg, so I got the new West Side Story.
Dude, Spielberg said he's never doing another musical, and I said, "Big fucking into that, brother."
I showed this for my patrons earlier, but just to show something I kind of picked up for my kid. I got the 100 Years of Olympic film set from Criterion. I got it in a trade. Yeah.
What the fuck did you trade for that? Kidney?
No, very little. Oh, and it almost fell off the table. Fuck, that thing is heavy. Okay, that's all my pickups for this week. What'd you watch this week?
A lot of films with Asian people in it. I watched Pray for Death with Joe Kosugi from the Arrow Video.
Nice.
I forgot how fucking... Dude, those movies, all those ninja movies that Joe Kosugi made are terrible, but they're so much fun. Like, it just reminds me of a kid being, like, thinking that was the height of martial arts. Stenhall asked, Ryan, did you genuinely like the new Matrix movie?
I've not seen it yet. I bought it so I could watch it. I try not to stream most of my stuff.
Not very good.
And the big
very
thing
good
is,
concept.
I've got the first 3 on Steelbook, and I wanted to have all 4.
I think it's the weakest of the 4.
I think most people agree with you. Jeff says it's time to admit I have a problem. Sometimes I just need to say no.
Wait. Why do you have a problem and this is okay? Why is it?
I'm actually looking forward to West Side Story. I'm not going to not defend that one. I don't really have a problem with Spielberg. I think he is less of an auteur than people make him out to be. But genuinely, everything I've seen from it looks great. There's some shots in that film that look like they should not be possible.
For what, West Side?
Yeah. There's a tracking shot where they are dancing in a ballroom, and it goes... Let me see. I've seen a GIF of this on Twitter, and I'm going to try to recreate it in my mind so I don't forget it. They are following somebody into like an auditorium, and they go at their head level, and it goes through the doors and then rises up to like a crane shot in the auditorium and spins around and then comes down at the level of these dancers' view on the other side of the auditorium. And the whole maneuver of it, they had to work on that very, very long period.
Well, I mean, I'll admit he knows how to work a camera. I would hope so. You're too far gone, Flip. That's true. That's
I love how
true.
Sardis says at least you have a plan because you're just collecting Shaw Brothers, but I just like everything.
I like everything too, but I can't afford.
No, you do not.
I
You
cannot
complain
afford
about
it.
fucking everything.
That's not true, Mister. I only complain about a few things. Musicals. Jokingly, I complain about a lot, but seriously, the only thing I can't stand is musicals.
Horror movies,
Except
musicals, Spielberg, black
I
people,
love horror
women.
movies. I love horror movies. Those last two, one of those last things were great. I love black people.
That was a joke, obviously. No,
I
Flip
don't
was
like women.
joking. He doesn't.
No, I do. God damn it. No, and Star Wars, no, nerd. Listen, god damn it. I like Star Wars. I just think the new trilogy is not. You want to hear me bitch about Far From Home?
Do you want let's bitch about something together because you just talked about what you watched this week. I watched something with a bunch of Asian people in it too, and I kind of want to rave about it.
Okay.
I finally saw Memories of Murder.
Finally?
And
did you watch the green
fuck
Criterion
the
edition?
Criterion restoration, dude.
Terrible.
The first
God damn.
the first 5 minutes of that movie are gorgeous, cinematic as hell, beautiful because it's outside at that drainage ditch, and then they go inside and it disappears. All of the color is like syringed out of the film, and you're left with this not quite sepia tone or whatever, but it is so odd, and like it's like what it's like what filmmakers in the US think of when they say we're setting this in Mexico and they go, let's make the whole thing yellow. I don't understand. Like that movie was so beautiful, but it was so muted.
I've joked like this before, but it literally is like if that movie existed in the Matrix world. They just put like a green weird. It's not like purely green though. It's such a weird color. Like I can't explain it. It's just
what it reminded me of is those old tarps that the old like 90s army tarps that you used to see on everything.
Yeah.
Like it
But
gave
as
off
a
that
film,
kind of
though,
feeling. Dude, first of all,
right,
hilarious. There are so many comedic moments in that movie.
there is some solid humor in that very dark movie.
Very dark movie. And then like the not really opening scene, but the scene near the beginning where they're trying to get the crime scene preserved, and it's a comedy of errors with everything falling apart around them. The choreographing on that scene alone, because it was one shot, and it was second film. There was so much work that had to go into that. Memories of Murder is beautiful.
You know what's crazy is that came out, and that serial killer it's based on watched it
Multiple times.
Oh man, that's such a wild thing.
And he says he didn't feel anything. That's the crazier part to me. He's like,
well, I'm sure he didn't feel anything. He's been murdering people. I watched To Live and Die in LA. Incredible movie, minus the opening. The opening is very outdated. Do you remember what happens right at the opening?
I do not.
A Islamic terrorist blows himself up on the roof.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Death to America, praise be Allah." And I'm like, "Oh Jesus Christ, is this how the whole tone is?" No,
well, that's how like half of the '90s were.
'90s were rad, but this movie,
'90s into the early 2000s, yeah.
This movie is just so fucking good, dude. William Friedkin,
yeah.
Friedkin, goddamn, dude, what a master! What a fucking he had a run there for a while. That is just hit. But To Live and Die in LA might be my favorite.
He's got what 4 films that everybody talks about, but he has like 6 sleeper films that are all amazing.
Yeah, he's fucking great. I'm gonna try to watch everything of his this year. William Dafoe. Every time I watch something of William Dafoe that's older, I'm like, that's my favorite William Dafoe thing until I watch something else. That literally might be my favorite role of his. The whole counterfeit sequences, the car chase is awesome in that movie, dude. Everyone hypes up Ronin, which rightfully so. But that car chase in To Live and Die in LA better than Ronin.
And keep in mind, 4K of that coming out.
From Kino, right? What's going on with Eastern Promises? Because the 4K is not available.
Not yet, but all of their 4Ks have been delayed ever so slightly. So the Yes. Wait, have you
Dude,
seen Cruising?
cruising. Oh, dude, the
Okay.
part where fucking Al Pacino just gives in to the gay vibe and just starts dancing his ass off. Oh my fucking.
Yeah, nerd. If you did not know, To Live and Die in L.A. is coming out on 4K from Kino. So
Such a good movie.
they're in the heat of the night 4K. Got slightly delayed, and that made The Apartment get slightly delayed, and now Eastern Promises is slightly delayed.
I have that, The Godfather 50th coming, the special edition.
The big limited edition.
Of course, dude. I'm a fucking wop. I gotta have that.
I missed it when the price was low, and I'm waiting for it to go back down before I get it. But I
I don't know where I'm gonna put it though, because it's like
as big as the Gamera set. Yeah,
I love The Godfather, and finally, Coda is officially the official canon third movie. I wish they would do the what was it, HBO series, the TV version of that. But man, was that Francis Ford Coppola's first movie? I think it was. He was like 28, 29 when he started production for that movie. But what a fucking lightning in a bottle the first two movies were. Just phenomenal. I don't think there is a better sequel ever than The Godfather 2.
No, he's got multiple films long before that. So
long before that?
Yeah, his first he did a short in 1956, and then his first I feel like Battle Beyond the Sun is a full-length film, but that was 59. Bellboy and the Playgirl 62, but the big one everybody knows from Vestron recently, Dementia 13, that was 63.
Okay. But man, Godfather is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Godfather 2 might be my second favorite film of all time. I just think it's incredible. Viggo Mortensen's Dick and Balls in 4K magical. I can't wait, dude. Have you seen Eastern Promises?
Back when it first came out, but I don't remember the circumstances, but I hardly remember the film. So I don't know if something happened.
There's a script finished for a sequel. They're supposed to do a sequel. There's a script finished. They're supposed to start filming in 2012, but the way the script is, it's much grander in scale. They'd have to go to Russia. The studio passed. The movie barely made its cash back. It only made like $13 million domestically.
Yep,
which is wild.
It did much better. It did much better on home videos.
That movie's so good. I honestly think. I mean, this might be controversial to say. I think that movie is on par with The Godfather. I think The Godfather edges it out slightly, but I think that is one of the best mob movies ever.
Have we talked about this before? Do you think Godfather 2 is a better film than the first one? Because tons of people do, obviously.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, so how do you think it compares to that? Like even to part 1, but not better than part 2?
No, I think part 2 is like 1 out of 3 films I would consider perfect.
Yeah, clearly.
Like there are only 3 movies I would ever say that's a perfect film: Seven Samurai, Godfather Part 2, and Once Upon a Time in the West. Those 3 movies are just not The Good, Bad, the Ugly. I think that movie's great, but Once Upon a Time in the West is just so good. But yeah, I don't think it's as good as Part 2, but I don't think anything really is as good as Part 2. Any mob. But yeah, I feel like in 20 years, 30 years, we'll be thinking of Eastern Promises the same way that we think of The Godfather.
That's possible.
Fu asks, "Is History of Violence getting 4K?" Yeah, I need more of the Vigo, and
they have not announced one, by the way. One more film I wanted to talk about that was recently watched. I'm not going to go too deep into this because I think I'm going to do a review for this one on the channel. But recent release, The Brute from Indicator. This movie is freaking amazing. Really well
what
acted.
Is it?
It doesn't say on the back, really. It is okay. So it is essentially a story about domestic violence. The movie starts off with a lady sleeping in her bed, and somebody it is filmed in a way that makes you think somebody's breaking into her house and then just beating the ever living shit out of her in her bed, and it looks real, like legitimately real. And then she runs away from her house and hides in the forest. And then the next morning, she's like, "What the hell's going on?" She looks around and she breaks it back into her own house. And then she sees the guy that beat the shit out of her, and she's like, "Hey, honey," and you realize it was her husband. And it's such a great beginning to the movie. But
Does she know it's her husband?
oh yeah, it is a way to show the cycle of abuse in relationships like that is harrowing. And it was filmed, I think it was 77. There was no like real domestic abuse shutter, or not. I've read Shutter because Pooper thought it said Shutter. No domestic abuse shelters that were not just like 50 women in a few rooms and their kids. And it shows like a guy camping outside waiting to see his wife and trying to kidnap her from the shelter type of situations. And it's just beautifully shot. It is acted better than so many different things. It's kind of filmed in like an exploitation sense in a lot of the scenes. There's even some nudity, and just really good. But the biggest thing is it also shows the differences in class, the way that those are handled. There's a very poor family and an upscale family that are facing a lot of the same difficulties and how it affects them differently. It's just a really good examination of all of that, and it's harrowing.
I'm always down to see a woman get their shit beat out of her. Sounds good.
And the best part is one of the husbands, you see a black woman
it's
kick the
multiple?
shit out of him. Oh yeah.
Well, okay.
Because they go to the shelter and
is it like an anthology of women getting beat?
No, it's based around one story mainly, but she comes into contact with some of these other people going through similar situations.
I could not imagine ever punching my wife in the face.
I can't imagine doing it again.
Dude, one time my mom was wearing a neck brace, and people would come in to the restaurant. She'd be like, "What happened?" She's like, "My husband told me too many times." My dad's deaf in his left ear, so they'll be like, "Jerry," and he's like, "Hey!" Dude, Ryan, this is a true story. One time this woman comes up and she's crying, and she's like, "Bridgie, my mom died." And my mom goes, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And she looks at my dad, who's in the kitchen cooking. He's deaf in his left ear. And she goes, "Jerry, my mom died." And my dad goes, "That's great. Have a good day." We had to explain to her.
Oh, that's perfect.
Dude, I saw my dad walk up to a fat girl one time and go, "How far along are you?" And the woman goes, "I'm not pregnant." And my dad, I've never seen him turn that red. It was, man, he's such a character. Just a goofy guy.
At least you heard that one. And Fu says that Siege is streaming on Shudder. Let me know what you think about that, especially if you're there on the Thursday show. Let me see what you think.
You want to do top 3, bottom 3?
Yes. So show tonight, we are doing our top 3, bottom 3 picks for Brad Pitt films. Again, this is purely subjective, and the way that we're doing this is we're choosing if we want to do this based on his performance or based on like the merits of the film itself. But we don't really have to explain that if we don't need to. And then the other thing is we don't know what we haven't seen. So by the end of it, if something obvious is missing, we could say, yeah, it might be awful or it might be amazing, but I've just never seen it. So
I'd want to say when it comes to Brad Pitt, I would totally be a bottom.
I thought that was a given, but okay.
So do you want to go first? Are we doing bottom or top first?
Bottom first. Always bottom first.
All right. You want to go first?
Yes. So we're going to start from the middle and go. So like right now we're going to do third worst, then second worst, then worst. And my number 3 from, from the bottom is this one. I thought this movie was actually directed fairly well, and some of the action is surprisingly decent for the movie itself. But overall, from what I've seen, it is his third worst film for me.
You're just picking it because you're a big Jennifer Aniston fan.
You leave Rachel alone, you piece of shit.
Mr. and Mrs. Homewrecker. Am I right?
No, I honestly, that could be a big part of it. I don't love Angelina Jolie. I've never really loved her in anything.
No. Salt. She's good in Salt.
I've still not seen Salt.
I saw Salt in theaters. It just popped in my head.
The only other thing I could think of was Wanted for some reason. It was like
I actually like that movie. I actually like that.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No.
Did you see Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Oh yeah, of course. I saw it as a kid, and I was like, nah, not my thing. Just not my thing. I don't know. I feel like that concept it could have been executed better.
I completely agree there.
And also, justice for Jim. My number 3 is Moneyball. Just not a big fan of that movie. I think I felt like Pitt was kind of phoning it in, but that got a lot of praise, though, right? Like,
yeah, it is a beloved movie.
Yeah, just not my thing. I don't know. I'm an idiot, though. So, yeah.
Well, I don't remember talking about it. Do you love baseball? Do you like baseball, really? That could be why.
My wife's
Everybody
a massive baseball fan.
That could help.
If there was a Salt Steelbook in German, Ryan would love it. Or Ryan would have it. I agree, Joe.
Perhaps.
But yeah, I'm not a big baseball fan. My wife is. I'm sure my wife has seen that movie and she probably enjoys it, but yeah, it just wasn't my thing. I saw it in theaters.
I dig it. I don't think it's awful. I like the minutia of a lot of that type of film. I like diving in and learning the behind the scenes things like that. And supposedly Moneyball is actually like surprisingly realistic for a lot of what went down.
Really?
Yeah. So maybe that aspect catapulted it to a little better for me. I don't hate it. It's clearly not one of his best movies.
No.
That would be ridiculous.
I feel like our top 3s are going to be drastically different.
I disagree.
Feel like they're going to be. I feel like they're going to be. I think you're going to be shocked at what I put out.
I think we're going to have at least 2 that are the same.
Whoa! Really?
Yep.
Right,
my number 2 worst though is Troy.
Dude, that's my number 2 as well.
Is it really for the bottom?
Yeah, that movie does not age well at all.
Oh, that's exactly what I was going to say. I felt
God.
Man, this is the one I mentioned before we went live. I told Flip some people are going to hate me for one of these picks, and it's so odd. Troy has this like beloved fan base, and I think this movie is just hot garbage on rewatch. I think it was okay when did this come out? Like 2007?
I think way earlier than that. I think 2004.
Let me see. I've got it open, obviously. I can look at it.
2004.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I probably last liked this in like 2005. And that's because I was just out of high school. It was okay then. But, oh, my God, does this movie not age well? I think obviously some of the way that they made this movie is visually impressive. But other than that, this movie is not good.
I also think Brad Pitt just stands out because he's like such a Caucasian.
I hated Orlando Bloom in this for some reason.
Really, I actually liked Orlando Bloom. I did not. I did not like Brad in this.
I didn't like either of them really, but Eric Bana is probably the only one I genuinely liked in this movie.
Now I read a. I don't know if this is true, but the last battle, Pitt and Bloom, the final fight?
I think so.
They actually they would give each other $1 or something or $100, whatever, for each hit. And Brad Pitt ended up having to pay a lot of money because he just kept bashing Orlando Bloom. But I feel like they don't make movies like that anymore. Those big, grand spectacles.
Big period piece, yeah.
And even at that time, 2004, they really weren't doing that. I think that and Kingdom of Heaven were kind of the last
300, Alexander.
Yeah, but that's Alexander. I wouldn't throw 300 in there because a lot of it is CG. It wasn't practical.
Well, of course.
Matt, I would say the last one is probably the last Duel from last year.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like that movie felt so special because we don't get movies like that anymore. So like when that came out, I was like, fuck, an epic from Ridley Scott. All right.
With those giant names. So that was a big thing.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a good time period for this movie. Gladiator was a few years before that.
Yep.
Yeah. Kingdom of Heaven. So what's your number 3?
Kingdom of Heaven. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's a great.
So my worst, my number 1, I guess. This is World War Z.
That's my number 1. God damn it. Fucking trash fire of a movie, dude.
This movie is so bad. There's so much to complain about it. First off, just awful CG. The CG in this movie is some of the worst CG.
It did not age well.
In a movie that has star power like Brad Pitt, your CG should be better.
Yeah, I mean, when did that come out? What, 2007?
Later than that, 2013.
What? That feels like a 2007 movie. So, damn.
2013, and you have, like, to me, this looks worse than, like, I Am Legend. Just going for, like, a big zombie movie. There are some bad things in I Am Legend, yes, but the bad in this is really bad.
I would say World War Z is better than Happy Feet 2, so how dare you?
Remember Fu, maybe I haven't seen it.
I saw this movie in theaters. I was really hyped. I remember they were playing the advertisements like crazy. Wasn't it the Super Bowl ad that year?
It was.
Yeah, so I remember they were hyping it up, and I saw it. I was like, man. And I was a big fan of the book, too, just like Dave
I was about to ask, did you ever read the book?
Oh, yeah. But my God. Isn't the book written by Stephen King's son?
Mel Brooks' son.
That's okay. I knew it was some famous dude's son.
It's Max Brooks.
But yeah, that's my number 1 least favorite. It was between that and 12 Years a Slave because 12 Years a Slave made me feel terrible as a person.
If you are interested in the story of World War Z, get the book. It is genuinely really well written, and it is super imaginative. And the way that it's written, it's one of those movies that evokes things.
Now, do you want to get in their top?
Yes, but I think you should go first, since I feel like we're going to have a lot of the same.
All right, my number 3, most favorite role, Fury.
Guess what my number 3 is?
Is it Fury?
Yep.
God, you motherfucker.
That's how I had it up and ready to go.
Such a good movie.
I swear to you, we're going to have at least 2 of the same. We might have all 3 the same.
That's David Ayer, right, who directed Fury?
Yep.
What an interesting
first off,
director.
Incredible cast.
Yes. Yeah, incredible cast. John Bernthal, Shia LaBeouf, and I can never remember his name. Michael Pena, Brad Pitt, all in a tank together. Could you imagine how that place smelled?
No.
Just so David Ayer is a really interesting director for me because for every movie that I love from him, there's a movie he's done that I fucking just despise. I just hate this movie. But this one, I don't know why, but it struck like an emotional chord with me.
It's special. Yeah. There's something about this. A lot of people hate Shia LaBeouf, and obviously he has been a real fuck to people, and I get that.
Have you seen that TikTok going around with Shia LaBeouf lately?
No.
Someone walks by with like 13 hats on, just randomly, and Shia LaBeouf's like, "Hey man, why do you got 13 hats on?" And he's like, "I don't know." And he's like, "All right, well, God bless you. Have a good one." Just like, Shia LaBeouf is, I mean, I'll still give him a pass. I mean, I don't know. The controversy aside, he's obviously a damaged person.
Right.
But he is a phenomenal
actor. What I was going to say, I adore Shia LaBeouf. No matter what, I've liked almost everything he's been in, obviously, other than like the shit movies, like The Tax Collector from David Ayer.
That's David Ayer. See? I haven't seen that. Is it good?
No.
You know that there are like fans of David Ayer that are like diehard David Ayer fans, and he was on Twitter not that long ago being like, "You got to release the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad." I was like, "Bro, nobody, not even your mom wants to see the David Ayer cut of Suicide Squad."
Oh man.
Yeah, that's what I was like. What, dude? But yeah, Fury. Just, I think it's perfectly directed. I think some of the cinematography is just,
Oh yeah.
especially the in battle, is just
And
nuts.
we got to touch on the end battle is not realistic in any sense. However, the way that it is filmed and the way that it's acted is stupid good. Excuse me, stupid good. Shocked at the way that they band together to get this. It's literally like a tank duel in the middle of this field, and it's shot so perfectly.
God, it's such a good fucking movie, man. It's such a hype movie. It's such a dude bro movie. It's such a like. You want to go with your bros, you want to watch that, and then you want to go fucking get some wings at B-dubs and talk about how fucking cool the scene where the rocket decapitates the dude. Just like, there is a rapey rape scene, which is very uncomfortable and weird.
Yep.
I feel like if you took that sequence out, the movie would be better. Because it feels so out of place in this. You know what I mean? Just
it fell out of place, but it made you. It literally made you hate that character more.
Yeah.
So,
I'm one of the few people that likes Ayer Street Kings. What was the Ayer movie that I was Sabotage with Arnold? God, some people love that movie, and
I've still not seen it, but I've heard it's
dude.
awful.
It's literally it's just people being like, "Yeah, fuck you, you fucking cunt," and then just like boom, 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 boom. Just imagine that. But he's also a filmmaker that I want him to continue to make work because nobody makes a movie.
Well, he is the perfect example of when it's good, it's great, and when it's bad, it is awful. So please go hit your highs again, by all means.
Who was the dude that was doing movies with Mark Wahlberg for a while? Mile 22, Deepwater Horizon.
I have no idea because that is the opposite type of movie that I like.
Mile 22 is not bad, man. That's a guilty pleasure. Did not expect to like that movie at all, and was like, wow. Peter Berg, yeah, Peter Berg, strangely like a decent director.
I love Foo for Thought says, I watched Sabotage last week. Garbage.
It's terrible, dude. It's pure garbage. But there are people that love Sabotage.
All right.
It's got collector's editions. It's got like steelbooks and shit. Like people love that movie. There's a collector's market.
I have my number 2 poster ready to go. And if you say the same one, it's going to be up like within a half second. So go ahead. What is your number 2?
No, I want to see what yours is.
No, you're going first. I went first on the bottom half.
The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
No.
So that movie, man, fucking the best Western of the last 20 years. Hands fucking down. Just immaculately directed. Directed by Andrew Dominique. He's done a few movies. One we'll talk about here in a second. One, which I think is not going to go over well with people. But yeah, I love this film to death. It's long. It's very thought-provoking. It's not a very typical flip film. You know, when you think of a flip film, you think of just turning your brain off. You can't really do that with this movie. But I adore it. Have you seen it?
I'm not supposed to talk about that because it might come up later on my list.
Oh, okay. Well, then what's your number 2, Mr. Secretive Man?
Well, I didn't mean it like that. My number 2, let me get it back ready. My number 2 is one of his more recent films. My number 2 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think obviously this is like Leo's big star grab, but I think kind of quietly, Brad Pitt is the star of this movie. And that's just like the actual career of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He is the one that is propping Leo up, not only in the cinematic universe, but also in the actual film. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is it shows a side of Brad Pitt that he rarely shows. Usually, in the way that they have him go out into some of these roles, he is. I don't know. Like, for example, I almost put Burn After Reading on here, and Burn After Reading, his role in that movie
Oh.
is wild. I love that movie. I love the way that he acts in that movie, but it's just an out there role for him. I also love spoiler, it's not my number one, Snatch, but he is just so far out there in Snatch that it's not like a quintessential Brad. In this, he is subdued and subtle and really actually acts rather than diving into like this outgoing character. He's not somebody that has to be over the top to shine, and he really takes it.
My favorite scene in that movie is at the end where he's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "No, it was dumber than that." What's your name? Brad Pitt in that movie acts like my dad does in real life, 20%. So when I saw that movie, I was like, I just watched it. And he kind of looks like my dad. As my dad's getting older, he looks like Brad Pitt a little bit. And I'm like, man, I just watched my dad beat a woman's face into the wall, which is fucking awesome. Brad tossing Bruce Lee into the side of a car is hilarious. Loved it. Dude, what I love is, I'm not going to rant here, is how up in arms the martial arts community got up. Like, Bruce Lee fucking sucks. He really does. And he's the fucking Jimi Hendrix of martial arts movies. Not that good. Died young. People love him to death. He's got this Christ-like fandom, which is undeserved. The only movie he's directed was fucking garbage. Piece of shit.
More important, though, that scene was about Cliff Booth. It was making him out to be this mythical creature. It was not about Bruce Lee getting beat.
You say anything wrong about Bruce Lee? Would I fight Bruce Lee? Yeah, he's dead. I'd win. He's a corpse. No, but I don't know how to fight. I'm not going to fucking fight Bruce Lee. Also, guys, martial arts community really need to get over themselves. Fucking kung fu, martial arts would not stand a chance against anybody with real MMA training. It's fake. It's make believe. It's not real. They would, like, a fucking brown belt would dismantle Bruce Lee. Sorry, guys. That's fucking reality. But man, yeah, he's got this Christ-like fandom, and when that movie came out, I was like, wow, that scene was hilarious. And like you said, it's supposed to make Cliff look fucking awesome. How much of a badass.
Unrealistically awesome. That's the other part. Everybody was mad about him beating up Bruce Lee. Tarantino was respecting Bruce Lee and saying Cliff Booth was such a badass that he could even beat Bruce Lee. That was like this building up of this mythical creature, essentially.
Also, Cliff Booth, I haven't read the book. Have you read the book?
I have not.
The book apparently dives into him being like a Navy SEAL or something. He's had like SEAL training. So a Navy SEAL would be able to beat Bruce Lee. Like hand-to-hand combat, real hand-to-hand combat, and not just fucking jumping on your tippy toes and throwing fake punches. Would easily take down Bruce Lee. So, yeah, I almost picked that movie. I also almost picked Inglourious Basterds. Hearing him try to pronounce Italian words purposely bad, Gorlami, like just so fucking good.
Arrivederci.
I still say that to my mom to this day, like that. Arrivederci. And then my favorite's not Pitt, but where he goes, Margheriti. And he's like, one more time, Margheriti. Yeah, I would love to. I mean, I know Tarantino says he only has one movie left. Would love to see him collab with Brad Pitt again.
We'll see if that's.
I think it's going to be true. I think it's really going to be true. I think he'll do one last theatrical movie, and then he'll do miniseries with HBO. So, but to answer your question, Stendhal, would I fight Bruce Lee when he was alive? No, absolutely not.
I love that. I showed this one, and then Stendhal said, "Knew it." I want to know what Stendhal thinks I'm doing for number one now.
So, what is your number one?
No, you're first. You keep trying to pass this off. And I have your number one ready, so go ahead and announce it, and I'll show the poster.
Killing Them Softly. by Andrew Dominic is my favorite Brad Pitt performance. I think the reason why this is my favorite movie is from him is that I saw this in theaters. My first movie I saw in theaters by myself, um, or one of maybe two or three movies I saw by myself. Uh, I loved it. It's an incredible critique on capitalism in America. It's not really just a crime movie. It's got like a deeper message. It's a nice little critique on capitalism. It's got some fucking. Andrew Dominique is directing the new NC-17 Marilyn Monroe biopic with Ana de Armas.
First off, NC-17 Ana de Armas. I'm in.
There's a guy.
And then Fu says, "I'm looking forward to for artistic reasons."
I think he's a good director. I think Andrew Dominique is very underrated. He only has 3 theatrical films, right? This Assassination, Jesse James, and then the other one I can't think of. But the 2 that he's worked with Brad Pitt have my favorite Brad Pitt performances in them. So if you haven't seen this movie, it's got a great fucking cast. Chopper, that's the other one. Chopper. If you haven't seen Killing Them Softly, it's got a great performance by James Gandolfini. Rest in peace. Tony Soprano. But yeah, did you like Killing Them Softly?
We may talk about that, but otherwise we'll talk about that after.
Okay.
My number 1, we've kind of already mentioned, is Inglourious Bastards. This is one.
Yeah.
This is his movie that I enjoy watching the most. First of all, I think that this is this is like top tier Tarantino for me.
I think it's his best movie.
I won't go that far at the moment. I probably need to see a handful again, just because, I mean, any day of the week I could say any of them are his best movie. But Brad Pitt in this film, like you already alluded to, freaking hilarious. But the crazy thing is, he is literally, this is the main poster for this film, and he is not even in that much of the film. And he captivates everybody watching this movie. And I mean, I love that Eli Roth is on this poster. I love that they are this group of people that just are savages for the right reasons, and they go out there and they handle shit. And I don't know, Brad Pitt, like you already mentioned, in that theater, Brad Pitt acting Italian, Eli Roth pretending to understand any sort of Italian. It's a damn near perfect scene. This movie has probably the best opening in any Tarantino film by a long shot.
Yeah. Intense. Very intense. I saw this with my parents in theaters.
Yeah.
Standing ovation. The whole theater game.
Yeah. So yeah, I love Inglourious Bastards. I think it's one of his best, but now that we've done that, I figured we could pull up Mr. Pitt and go through his list of films that he's done and talk about why we haven't talked about things. So first off, he was in all kinds of shit in the 80s and 90s that we never even came close to mentioning. One that a lot of people may have seen because Vinegar Syndrome put it out. He was in Cutting Class, a horror film. He is not in it that long, but it was his one of his not starring, I guess, but let's say role-making roles, I guess. I don't know. He did that. He did let's see. Thelma and Louise is obviously the first real big one that got him on there. Do you like Thelma and Louise? Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
So it's actually a pretty good movie. It doesn't hold up super great, but it's decent. Does this help?
Yeah, zoom it in a little bit. Hey.
Let me go even further.
Ooh.
So Thelma and Louise, that was 1991. Next thing that that makes sense to talk about is A River Runs Through It. Huge film in its time. I don't know that I've ever seen it at all. Next one that is really good, California. Have you seen California?
No, I haven't.
That was put out by Shout Select. Great movie. It is nowhere near top tier Brad Pitt, but it's a good film. True romance, obviously amazing. Both of us talked about this last year as some of the best Arrow releases of the year. He's just a very small part in the grand scheme of things, to be fair.
Interview of the Vampire. I'm a big fan of Anne Rice. I'm a big fan of Anne Rice, and that rest in peace. Yeah, Legends of the Fall, underrated movie.
Probably at the peak of his attractiveness at that time.
Yeah, he's really fucking hot there.
7. Obviously, need to clear the air on this because Stendhal was guessing that I was going to say 7 or Inglourious Bastards. 7 is an amazing movie, done by Fincher, really well written. Love it. I don't see it as Pitt's best performances, even like top 5. It's a great film.
No, especially like what's in the box. Like it's just so bad.
12 Monkeys. He does amazing in that movie. I personally don't love 12 Monkeys. Have you seen 12 Monkeys even? You should. Arrow put that one out. They're obviously releasing that on 4K as well. I don't remember Sleepers of the Devil's Own at all. Not sure I've seen those. But then
Meet Joe Black.
Everything takes off. 7 Years in Tibet was a huge film for him. Meet Joe Black was a big one. Fight Club, obviously, is one that everybody's going to be mentioning. It's a good movie. It's even a great movie, but it's not something that needs to be litigated anymore. It's a very film bro movie. And
you know, the author of Fight Club has a book about a guy who gives himself rabies purposely, like injects himself with rabies, and then lets it, and then goes and gets treatment, but he lets it progress further and further each time, and it eventually turns into an STD.
The author is Chuck Palahniuk, I believe. He's done some wild books. Like he did Choke, and Choke was
What's
good.
that about?
It's been so long since I've seen that. Let me see if I can.
He's like he's a good author, but I feel like once you graduate high school, it loses its impact because a lot of his stuff is very shock value.
So Choke, it says, it tells the story of the sex-obsessed Victor Mancini who pays for his mother's stay in a hospital by going to restaurants and pretending to choke on his food. In between visiting his mother, Victor reflects on his childhood and events that led him to become a self-hating sex addict.
Sounds like my life.
Let's see. Snatch, like I said, great movie. Really well done. Recent 4K release. It looks good. It's not an incredible 4K release, but first off, he's a kind of small part in Snatch, and his part is over the top to be over the top, and it's just not one of his best, in my opinion. The Mexican, good movie. His obviously it's not a movie, so we were going to talk about it, but his role on Friends, really funny. Okay, so we were going to talk about this, so let's talk about it now. The Ocean's films. Let me pull this down. We'll talk about heist films for a minute. So Flip was saying he doesn't really care for any of the Ocean's movies. I love all 3 of them. I think that they are great movies. Flip really likes action heist movies, and I like. What about like Logan Lucky? Didn't you like that one?
Yeah, Logan Lucky was good. That's also Soderbergh, right?
Yep. And for me,
I feel like I like pretty much anything Soderbergh puts out. The Ocean's movies are just okay to me. I don't think
he did Kimmy, and you hated that one.
Yeah, well, that's a bad movie. Everyone has a few hits.
I love that you say that right after you just said, I love most everything he puts out.
Yeah, most. Haywire, Logan Lucky. I liked that movie with Benicio del Toro he did last year. Even though that's got some weird fucking fisheye shit going on in that movie. But yeah, I feel like Soderbergh's the only one doing heist movies anymore.
There's been some others, but I think he does them on large scales and in a way that's competently done. And that's we kind of mentioned it a little before the stream. I was saying they're like smart heist movies as opposed to action heist movies, and it depends on what you're focusing on. And I think The three Oceans movies are written in a way where it comes off kind of like they're trying to be clever, which hampers that a little bit. It brings that down, but they're at least fun, and obviously the cast is the biggest part of any of those movies.
Also, the remake with the women.
I don't think that's a remake. I think that's just a continuation.
Oh, that was a bad movie. Whatever that.
I haven't seen that one yet.
And I hate when things turn into like a culture war thing. It's like you don't like it because you hate women. It's like, nah, people want to see women kick ass. Kill Bill was a fucking massive hit. You just gotta not do a shitty movie.
Yeah. All right. So after Ocean's 11,
he was in King of the Hill. That's cool.
Next one after that, we talked about Troy, Ocean's 12, Sir Mrs. Smith, Babel. Did you like Babel?
What is that? Click it.
Babel, really famous poster. It is from 2006. Tragedy strikes a married couple on vacation in the Moroccan desert, touching off an interlocking story involving 4 different families. I remember this being really good. I just haven't seen it in a long time, and I don't remember a lot about it. Cate Blanchett is the main actor across from him, and it's directed by Iñárritu. Criterion.
Really?
Oh, come on.
What's his Do You Know section?
Let's finish filmography first. Let's see. After Babel was Ocean's 13, Assassination of Jesse James. I have not seen Assassination of Jesse James.
What the fuck you doing, dude? It's a great movie.
Nor have I seen Killing Them Softly.
What? My 2 favorites? Man, Brian. Come on.
That's why I alluded to that. Burn After Reading, I mentioned it. Really fun movie. His character is too off the wall. He's good in that role, but yeah, just not one of his best. Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Anything to say about that one?
Great movie.
It's really good, yeah.
Fantastic. That's got Criterion, right? Like a standard Blu-ray case?
Is it in blue or was it in DVD?
I'm not sure. It was in blue.
Okay. Yeah, that was one that I believe was available at like dollar bins everywhere. That was the Criterion release was everywhere.
It's weird.
Oh, look at that. Fu says I haven't seen Assassination or Killing Them Softly either.
My 2 favorite people right now on the stream haven't seen my 2 favorite movies.
Stendhal, I believe I do have the Blu-ray for Jesse James. I feel like it is damaged.
There's a really good 2-pack with that and Wyatt Earp with what's his name?
I do not have that. Yeah.
Kevin Costner. That movie deserves like a special edition. It really does.
Inglourious Bastards, The Tree of Life. That's not a flip movie. Have you even seen that one? That's a Terrence Malick film. Moneyball. It's good. It's nowhere near the best. Happy Feet 2. I've never seen either of them. Killing Them Softly, I've not seen. World War Z was trash. 12 Years a Slave. It's good. Fury was great. The Big Short.
Decent.
It's good. It's good. That's what to say about The Big Short. I don't know. Allied, I've never heard of anybody that has seen Allied. Have you seen Allied?
But War Machine's a piece of shit.
I've not seen that one either. Oh god, Deadpool 2. I forgot he was in that for like 27 seconds.
Ad Astra,
I've never seen Ad Astra either.
Why was it like for like a couple of years there's so many fucking space movies? All at once.
That's because Gravity was popular. Alfonso Cuarón killed it, and then
have you seen Gravity at home?
I have. It's not going to
movie.
be. It's not. Well, I liked it, but this is why it's not going to be the same type of answer. I saw it at home on a 3D TV.
I don't think it's a good movie. I think George Clooney is just hitting on her. It's just one of
This was my problem. Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford came out in the same year as No Country for Old Men and There Will Be Blood. It did get overshadowed by both, and
God damn, that's a good year.
it's an incredible year.
Woo! Oh.
Stendhal says I should watch them both if you're going to watch the Blonde film. If you're not used to a slow pacing, you might. I love slow pacing. I'm fine with that. Sardis loves the sci-fi, so of course he watched Ad Astra. So what do you think, Sardis? Do you like Ad Astra? Let's see. Flip wanted to see the Did You Know on here. Anything special?
Sardis did not like Gravity either.
I think
Gravity. About his
Gravity.
new movie coming out, Bullet Train. Did you watch that trailer?
I don't think so. The only one I know about that's coming out with him is that stupid-looking Sandra Bullock film.
Dude, he's got a movie coming out called Bullet Train, directed by David Leitch, who co-directed John Wick 1, did Deadpool 2, did Hobbs and Shaw. It's an action movie. It's set in Japan. It's got Hiroyuki Sanada in it. It looks great.
Says he turned down a role in Apollo 13 to play in 7. Honestly, probably not a bad idea.
That's a good trade-off.
Apollo 13, amazing movie, but I think he got a lot more attention for 7 than he would have in the other. Let's see. Banned from entering China because of his role in 7 Years in Tibet, of course.
For real? That's so fucking stupid. Okay.
Lived across the street from Cassandra Peterson.
Who's that?
Elvira.
Oh, yeah.
Was a journalism major in college with an advertising focus. Dropped out of the University of Missouri School of Journalism. I've heard of Missouri.
I've heard of that place. I've never seen it, so it's a myth.
He was considered for the lead role in The Matrix. I'm glad he didn't get it.
Wait, what? Neo? Thank God.
His wedding to Jennifer Aniston cost $1 million. Jesus.
Why not?
He auditioned for the role of JD in Heathers. That would have been freaking great. Have you seen Heathers? Dude, Christian Slater is the one that ended up playing JD. That movie is so damn good. So damn good. I think you'd like it.
Maybe.
Tore his Achilles tendon during the production of Troy. Wasn't the only thing they ruined while making that. Yeah.
Cool guy, that Brad Pitt.
That's the bulk of it. Sardis says, Gravity had too many obstacles to overcome. I was surprised there weren't sharks to contend with when they landed back on Earth.
Speaking of sharks, we should do a top 3, bottom 3 Sharknado. There are 6 of
them. All the ones with Tara Reid are my favorite.
I think it's just the first 2.
No Country was a modern setting Western. I just couldn't compare them, even though most do. I still loved. Good Lord, that is an acronym.
The Assassination of James by the Colorado Ford.
Yes.
Hey, what's your favorite band? My favorite band is TAOJJ.
The Andrew Jackson Jihad?
Is that a real band?
Yeah, they used to go by the
Andrew
AJJ.
Jackson Jihad. The Andrew Jackson Jihad? That's fucking sick name.
That I believe they changed their name.
Why?
Because of
Jihad offensive?
Yeah.
I think Slayer's got a song called Jihad, and it's really fucking good.
Brad Pitt has had a wild career, though. That's the main takeaway from all those. He has done a super interesting swath of films. He is not somebody, obviously because he's Hollywood handsome. He gets looked kind of down on as an actor, but he's genuinely great in a lot of what he does.
Yeah, he is. I think we should find someone who has like a crazy long filmography, director or actor, and we should do that. That tier list website.
Yeah,
we should do a tier list of let's say Michael Mann. He's got 10 films. Do S, A, B, C, D, F.
Yeah, we can do that.
We should do that. I think that would be funny. I think we should do that with Tarantino.
Well, there's a handful of directors that we both seem to like that would be perfect for something like that. It would be great for Villeneuve. It'd be great for Edgar Wright,
PTA.
PTA. It'd be really good for who's I about to say? Fincher.
It's not World Painted Blood. It's Christ. The album before that. It's the song, and the song "Jihad" by Slayer is from the perspective of the terrorists blowing up the Trade Center, 9/11. I see through your Christ illusion. Good old Christian.
Oh, Slayer.
I love Slayer. Do you like Slayer?
We talked about Slayer a couple weeks ago. They are musically impressive, but I've never been like a Slayer diehard or anything.
Slayer diehards are wild people.
Well, it's also just not my type of like. I'm not a huge thrash person.
You're not, so you don't like Overkill or Anthrax. I'm not a big Megadeth guy.
I hate Anthrax.
I don't like Anthrax either. I never understood the whole hype around Anthrax.
I've always thought it was weird. I don't know if you knew. I know that was like 9 sentences. What is the famous member of Anthrax? Is it Scott Ian?
Scott Ian, yeah.
So I went to Texas Frightmare in 2019, and he was there. And like, I understand. I think he's done a couple horror adjacent things. Like, I feel like he made an appearance in something, but it's so odd. And he was charging more than a lot of people. Like, he was like $50 for an autograph and a picture.
Yeah, dude, that fucking goatee doesn't pay for itself.
I bet he has that thing insured.
I'm sure. Yeah, it's like J-Lo has her ass insured. Why not? I'm just not a big Anthrax guy. Slayer is incredible. I think Metallica is okay.
I think Metallica is the best of the big four, like by a long shot.
Slayer, 100%.
No, well, if you're talking musicality, yes. For me, the most entertaining of the four is Metallica.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Now, I would say everything Black Album before, great. Fucking is it Kill 'Em All? Kill 'Em All is awesome. Motley Crue was very thrashy on their first EP, the very first EP.
Yep.
Very thrashy. And then they discovered what Vagina was. They were like, we
should probably stop moving into metal after movies.
I keep forgetting Stardust is older. We should talk about. I don't know. I saw a video of Chuck Berry farting on a hooker's face. Have you seen that?
Dude, Chuck Berry's impressive as shit. He is.
Did you hear what I just said? There is a video
but I tried
of
to
Chuck Berry
past
going. There's a video of Chuck Berry going, give it a little kiss, and when she goes to kiss his butthole, he farts on it. It's funniest shit I've ever heard because it's Chuck goddamn Berry, dude.
Oh man.
Yeah. Do you like the hardcore band Violent Anal Death? No, but there is a grindcore band called Anal Cunt that I like quite a bit. They have songs called "Hitler Was a Sensitive Man." Very funny titles like that. Well, the lead singer just died. R. Brooks says the only Anthrax song I enjoyed was their "Bring the Noise" single. Yeah, that's a good song.
It is a good song.
But that's because Public Enemy is so good. Eric says I've never heard of most of either. Stardust and Eric, what kind of music do you guys like? Like, what is, like, let's say, top 3 artists?
That is a great question.
And that's for everybody in the chat. We'll do top 3, bottom 3 best musical taste right now, based on our viewers.
Oh man, I feel like Stendhal's gonna have some really great responses.
Stendhal's gonna be like, yeah, I like, Cunt.
I wonder what Foo says.
Foo's very into hip hop, so I wouldn't be surprised if he picks Wu-Tang. I think he's a fan of Big Pun. I think I've heard him talk about Big Pun. Rest in peace. I want to know, why does Fat Joe get the N-word pass? He's Cuban. Can someone explain this to me? Do we have any black viewers?
No, probably
Geek.
not.
Geek's black.
Nerd.
Nerd's black. Nerd, can you tell me why Fat Joe can say the N-word? Okay, stars with Stones. Derek and the Dominoes 10 years after. Big L, MOP, and Biggie. Okay.
Biggie's pretty great.
Biggie's great. I played rap in the car today with my dad. He hates rap, but he likes Biggie for some reason. He's like, I like the song. I was like, of course you do. It's fucking 30 years old at this point. Brian, who's your top 3?
All time or a certain genre?
All time.
Streetlight Manifesto.
Good man.
Probably Showbread. And we've talked about them before. Little post-hardcore. And then finally, oh man. That's where it gets really hard after those top 2. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
Chris Isaac's artist. What a wicked game to play.
Let me see. Let me take a look at some of my playlists.
Sindall says Joy Division, The Smiths.
Probably Foxy Shazam.
Okay.
I love Foxy Shazam.
Mine would probably be Emperor, the black metal band. Anthems of Welcome at Dusk is one of the greatest albums of all time. Really enjoy that album. I really like Leviathan, another black metal. It's a one-man black metal band. Just incredible solo stuff. And then third one's really tough. I would say probably Mayhem, the black metal. I'm really into black metal. I don't talk about it a lot because not a lot of people like black metal. But I still beat myself up. They were playing at Maryland Death Fest, which is like a 9-hour drive from me, and I was single. Didn't have kid, and I asked my parents and said, "Hey, can I have 2 days off?" I was going to drive to Maryland because Mayhem was playing De Mysterious Don Sathanas, which is In League with Satan, one of their best albums from start to finish. The whole thing. And I was like, God damn it, I want to go, but I didn't go. I don't know why.
Got a nice list there. Buddy Guy, 9 Inch Nails, Thin Lizzy, Gorilla Biscuits, Johnny Cash, White Stripes, Led Zeppelin. That's good stuff.
They should have called War Machine the Marvel movies black metal. Lay down your soul to the gods, rock and roll. Metal, deadful, deadly black hole. Another band I like, Dissection. The lead singer did 2 albums in the 80s / early 90s. Then went to prison, I think, for murder. Got out, released an album, which is...
Sardis says, I also like Gorillas and Lizzo. I mean, first of all...
Now, first off, are you saying Lizzo is a gorilla? Because she's so big?
Anyways, before everybody gets canceled, Lizzo is fucking incredible.
I don't like Lizzo. She posted a video of her harassing a Grubhub driver and then getting him like in big trouble, like just purposely harassing him. This was like right around the first album came out.
As a musician, she's great. I have no idea about the Grubhub scandal.
The same reason why I don't like Cardi. Like I like Cardi's music, but
I've never liked Cardi's
music.
Music.
She was like, yeah, you used to drug men and rob them.
Yeah.
No Love for Death. Death, like the death metal band.
A band called Death.
Yeah, there's a death metal band called Death.
That's the name of the documentary. A band called Death.
Can't forget Cypress Hill. Oh, but what I was saying was Dissection. He puts out 2 albums, gets out of prison, releases another album which is really good, and then kills himself in the center of a pentagram. And his suicide note was like, "I completed the trilogy for Satan." Yeah, he's cool guy.
You know what band we haven't talked about before that I've really loved too? Have you ever listened to Blindside?
No, I've never listened to the Blindside.
Blindside is great. They are a Swedish band, and everything they sing is in English. But there's a couple songs that they've dipped into some Swedish, and incredible, really good stuff. And it's like mellow rock. It's not black metal or anything like that.
Do you like any black metal?
I mean, yeah, like I showed you that band Immortal Souls.
Yeah,
I'm into some of it. Nowadays, I'm not into like anything incredibly heavy unless I'm just in the right mood, and I don't ever jump for black metal first. I'm all about like the screamo post-hardcore. Oh, you know, a band I probably should have said first is Emery. Like, I love Emery. I think Emery is one of the best groups of musicians ever.
And who else do I listen to? I listen to a lot of rap. I've been listening to a lot of Sidney Morg, Sos Mula, Shake Well, Fat Nick. This guy named Fat Nick. You know what? I like Dragon Force. Dragon Force is through the cold winter morning, and it's time before the light.
Herman Lee is all over TikTok all the time.
Yeah, he is. What the fuck is that, dude? Why is he ever? He's. I'm annoyed now. Kill Switch Engaged.
They are amazing.
Yeah, they are, dude. I miss the Black Singer.
I miss Howard. He's got a new band. Right. And he's great in that new band. Yep. Well, it's not new anymore. He left Killswitch and took like a year off and then started another band, and they're great.
His cover of Holy Diver.
Oh my God
damn.
Oh, and speaking of Ronnie James Dio, one of the best metal vocalists of all time.
I'm gonna say this: better than Ozzy.
I have always believed that. I don't think Ozzy.
Yes.
Ozzy is not that great of a vocalist.
Ozzy's the Bruce Lee of rock. I think Ozzy kind of sucks. Dio's just incredible, and he's as a short Italian man. He really gives me a lot of
Rainbow. Rainbow was amazing,
dude. My dad will play like a Dio, like a Dio-centric station, you know, and like a Dio deep cut will come on. And I'll be like, I love Dio. He's like, yo, this is fuck. How? He's like, how the hell do you know this? I love Bob Seger. Brian, you should try Nightwish. Nightwish is good.
I feel like I've heard of them.
Oh, dude, they're so good. Rammstein, do you like Rammstein?
A couple of the songs.
Do you like Brandi Carlile?
I don't remember enough to say either way. I know I've heard.
My wife and I's song is "I Belong to You," so I like her. Jedi Mind Tricks, damn. All right, Stendhal. Do you like Necro, the rapper?
I don't know that I've heard Necro.
He's pretty vulgar. What's your favorite Biggie line? He has one of the most offensive lines in hip hop. It's just stuck in my brain. Mother Mary, I never knew her. I'd probably screw her and then leave her body in the sewer. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, God damn, Biggie. Biggie's great. Biggie or Pac?
This is hard because
John, Biggie or Pac?
Again, grew up in Southern California, so I feel like I have to say Pac. But
I'm gonna say Biggie, dude. I'm more a fan of the East Coast.
I think I listen to Biggie more than Pac.
Cannibal Ox. Cannibal Ox is great. Run the Jewels.
Oh, Run the Jewels. They might be up there for me too.
I've seen them live more than any other artist. They're fucking great.
Did we talk about that before? The band August Burns Red, right? The metal band. So I think it was 2005. They are from Pennsylvania. I was in Southern California, and that year I accidentally I got cut off by Foo's comment here. Foo says Tupac is whack.
I agree.
So August Burns Red in California, when they are from Pennsylvania, I accidentally saw August Burns Red 4 times in 1 year. And they were like a no-name Christian band, and they just happened to be on 4 tours that I was going to that year.
That's awesome. I agree with Fu, man. Pac couldn't touch Biggie. I love Biggie.
I don't think he's whack. I think that he's great. He was a great writer. He had decent flow. He's got good melody, but I think Biggie is the better musician.
Man, that's a fucking hot take. Pac is whack. Ooh. I like it though. I like it. Sometimes you think things and you're scared to say it, and then your friends say something, and you're like, "Yeah." Like me and I forgot who I was talking to. It might have been Sean, but we were like, I don't know if it was him or not, but I was like, "Yeah, if Bruce Lee wasn't so charismatic, we wouldn't have remembered him because his movies are bad. Like they're bad movies; they're not good." Biggie once said, "You look so fine, I'd suck your daddy's dick." Oh man. What about Aqua? Do you like Aqua?
No.
What about the who was the other Aqua spinoff? God, that song. He's my best friend, best of all best friends. Do you have a best friend too? Tickles in my tummy. He's so yummy, yummy. Hey, you should get a best friend too. Hoo ha, hoo ha. Hello, baby. Can I see you smile? I'm going to a party and it's gonna be wild. Can I come? I am staying alone. No friends are never.
You know who that just reminded me of? That is genuinely a group of amazing musicians. Is the B-52s.
Hey, I like the B-52s. La Bouche. Wanna be my lover, wanna be my lover. Dun, 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 dun. I'm not joking. Rest in peace to her, she died.
I wish we could stream some of this for everybody without getting this stream cut off immediately.
Looking back on all the times we've been together, I wanna know her now. God, who else do I like? I like a lot of people. Oh, is it ATC? La 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 la. It goes around the world, just na 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 na. The of the sun, a bittersweet. I like Limp Bizkit a lot. I'm not joking, dude.
I'm sorry.
They did a song with Lil Wayne, and it literally starts off, "Go fuck yourself, Limp Bizkit." Oh, check 1, 2. Okay, listen to this. I got a game recently called Final Fantasy Strangers in Paradise, right? It's the team who made Neo, so it's like this action RPG retelling of the first Final Fantasy game, but with a dude bro aesthetic. And the main character literally listens to Limp Bizkit on the Executioners, man. Underrated group. The song they did with Mike Shinoda and Wayne Static. Rest in peace to Wayne Static.
Well, and speaking of Mike Shinoda and rest in peace, I unironically have always loved Linkin Park. I think that
they're great.
Chester is one of the best vocalists of all time.
Yeah, 100% agree. Yeah, that song, I forgot what it's called. It's going down. Dude, Go Horror? Oh my god, I love Go Horror. They have a song that goes, "Engraved in a nation, shadow of submergence. We awake the storm to rise with Armageddon. We arise with legions of war. Burn the holy wards. Carve my blasphemy on angel bone. Something, murdering the slaves of Christ. Sound the horn to winter's bane." Yeah, Fred Durst is incredible.
John asked, have we ever seen The Fanatic directed by Fred Durst? I have not.
Poppycock. Poppycock. I love The Fanatic, dude. Great movie. I love Go Horror, though. That's awesome. My wife does not like Go Horror. 1910 Fruit Gun Company sings, "Yummy, yummy, yummy. I got love in my tummy." Bubblegum rock. What? Artist, don't. God, what else do I like? You know what I think is funny is that like Mexicans really just listen to like mariachi music. Like they're just like, yeah, this is the shit. Like I was watching Canelo Alvarez training in the gym, and they just got it on the background. Like I could not imagine working out and being like, just hearing like, oh yeah, da, 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 da. You know what I'm talking about? This shit's funny. Children of Bodom. Rest in peace, Alexi Leo. Did he die this year? I think he did.
I feel like it's been like 2 or 3 years at this point.
I think it's this year, man.
It might be, but
Google it. Google Alexi Leo. Rest in peace, but fucking great. Literally one of the best guitarists to have ever lived. And that's not like me being silly. I think he died in January.
Died in January, and what is the date on this? Died December 29th of 2020.
Well, it's been 2 years.
Well, 15 months, 16 months.
Man, poor guy. Rest in peace. Their cover of Oops, I Did It Again is great.
Yep.
Speaking of pop, do you like Britney Spears?
I mean, genuinely great vocals, yeah. I mean, she can't write for crap, but...
Did you ever get into Witch House? Like, do you know what Witch House is?
Know who that is.
It was this weird fucking genre that just appeared in like the early 2010s. Have you heard of the band Salem?
No.
They have they have 2 albums. I haven't listened to the new one, but the first one is just so fucking good. They have a chop and screwed version of that Britney Spears song, "Till the World Ends." You know what I'm talking about?
I think so. I've just
they
put
did
on
a chop
Britney
and
Spears
screwed
a long
version of
time.
it. Just they have a whole mixtape that's like chop and screwed pop and like dance songs. So like Better Off Alone, there's a chop and screwed version of that that's really fun. But yeah, Witch House was such a wild genre. It like was very short lived. It was really big in Russia, but like they had like an OD problem there, like where people were listening to Witch House and just ODing. Just real. Just I don't. I feel like we won't get copyright claim if you just YouTube Salem Witch House.
I played a movie on my stream last year that was public domain and got pulled immediately.
Really? Oh yeah, Crystal Castles was kind of a. Do you know Crystal Castles?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like more poppy or Witch House.
And Flip is gone. All right. I'm gonna see if he gets on the next. Oh, there he is.
It got too spooky.
It's because you kept mentioning Witch House.
Witch House is great. I love Witch House. Crystal Castle. Sad that him and the girl broke up. White Ring was also a really good Witch House group. But yeah, it's just like the aesthetic is like really like gross looking people. You know, like girls with no eyebrows, but they have armpit hair. Like that kind of aesthetic. You know what I'm talking about? It's not an attractive aesthetic. It's never not funny when Flip vanishes. One day I'll disappear and I'll be gone for good. Just will have a heart attack and die. Never not funny when Flip vanishes. That's good. What do you want to talk about now? Do you want to talk about actors with BDE?
Oh man.
I don't feel like there's a working actor right now who has BDE. There was such an attitude of like, especially the 70s. John Wayne, Thomas Wakayama.
It's a good question. I mean,
Who
not
just
really,
exudes
but it's a fun
big dick
discussion.
energy? It's a fun, yeah. Like who do you think has BDE? Anybody in the comments? Who do you think has BDE?
What a weird discussion.
Oh, like who's like a badass? Like who exudes big dick energy? You know?
Oh, I know. I know what the question is. I have nothing else to bring up. Thanks everybody for hanging out.
Is that it? Or done the
Sounds like it.
I was gonna say James Gandolfini.
Well, he's not.
Idris Elba. You know what? Who's right?
That's a good
Idris
answer.
Elba. Idris Elba. That's a great answer. God, I'm so excited for Havoc this year. They did say 2022 now. So
Oh, it
yeah,
must
so
be going well then.
Yeah. Someone asked Gareth Evans in like December on Instagram, like, "Hey, is this coming out next year?" And he said, "I don't know. Editing is going to take up for post production is going to take up many months of 2022." And then the
Right.
Instagram page, the official Havoc page, officially says coming 2022. So
Nice.
it's gonna be movie of the year, hopefully, if it doesn't suck.
Isn't Richard Roundtree dead?
Hey, yeah, he can be dead. They can all be dead.
James Gandolfini too.
Yeah, dude, I'm still sad about that. I love that man. Sam Peckinpah was a BDE director.
Oh, is he not dead? Is Richard Roundtree still alive?
Is he?
Damn.
What's he in?
He was born in 42. He is Shaft.
Oh wow, which is getting a weird pick. Criterion's been on a little bit of a roll lately.
He's got a movie coming out soon.
How old is he?
He 58, 80.
Wait, Golden Ninja Video just announced a brand new 2K scan of a Bruce live film.
Nice.
Whoa, can you pull that up? Can you pull that up, Ryan?
Yeah,
you're probably... like the Jamie of Joe Rogan. You're Joe Rogan and Jamie. You don't listen to Joe Rogan?
Fuck no.
You don't like Joe Rogan? What's wrong with you? He has a producer called Jamie. And he always goes, "Jamie, pull that up." It's like a meme.
That checks out.
Iron Dragon Strikes Back, and then it's gonna have a bonus film on it.
Always does.
Fuck. Wow. See, I feel like these Bruceploitation movies are more fun than the actual.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense, and it's it's something that they're paying homage to, and then they're also kind of satirizing. It's a weird situation, obviously.
I got their Jackie Chan exploitation box set coming. $20 for like fucking how many movies?
It's like 9 or 10 movies, yeah.
But then it's got bonus movies for each movie that they have. So there's like Mystery of Chess Boxing's on there, like just crazy shit. Yeah, that's awesome. Good for them. They're so rad.
This must have just got announced while I was streaming earlier. I still haven't posted.
22nd.
Nice.
Is today the 22nd?
Yeah.
Damn, yeah. 8:33 p.m. So literally 30 minutes before we went live.
Yep, I was still live.
Wild.
Crazy.
That is wild.
And then there's Fu.
What's he say? What's that nerd say? What a nerd. I love him. His new episode of his podcast was just him and his wife. And they watched a movie. I forgot what the movie's called, but it's a Cambodian martial arts movie. I think Cambodia, and there was a Cambodian prince in the movie. He was apparently a terrible actor. Guys, go listen to Food for Thought. It's great. One of the best podcasts out there. Ryan, a couple more bands to look for. The Crux Shadows, the great old ones, based on H.P. Lovecraft.
Interesting.
Did you like 3 Inches of Blood?
I don't know that I know what
Deadly
that is.
Sinners? Don't walk the cold with the streets and drain the light overlay me. You never listened to 3 Inches of Blood? Deadly Sinners! What?
No.
Wow, dude. I gotta send you some fucking 3 Inches of Blood.
Okay. Hey, thanks for hanging out tonight, everybody.
Are we done? You don't want to talk about my parody 3 Inches of Blood band called 3 Inches of Blood, which is what I say when I poop.
Yeah, I think we're good. Tonight was good. Brad Pitt was fun. I'm so glad that we talked about it. Next week gonna be a fun one too. I feel like it's time that we have somebody else back on the show.
Hey, Stardust, my mom said that. So
have a good week, everybody. We'll figure it out. You always got to do that at the end of the show.
it's a tradition. Hey, who knows? I'll get another edition of Lone Wolf and Cub next week. We'll talk about that.
We'll see you next Tuesday when we talk about Lone Wolf and Cub.